Okay, so let's get started. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Carolina. For today's video, I wanted to start sharing with you my pregnancy experience. I am no longer pregnant. I already had my baby in January, but I feel like it is important for me to share my experience with you, especially the early scarier stages. Well, pregnancy is scary, period, but I just want to share because I remember when I first found out that I was pregnant, which now was like a year ago. I found out May 9th, 2019, yeah. So it's been a year ago already when I found out I was pregnant. But as soon as I found out, all I ever did was just look up videos on YouTube about early pregnancy symptoms, and I was obsessed with looking up videos of pregnancy symptoms and like early symptoms of pregnancy, and that's all I would look for on YouTube because I wanted to know if what I was going through was common, if it was normal, or if something was going wrong. Like, obviously every pregnancy is different, but it was just helpful to me and it was reassuring when I would see that other women were going through the same things that I was going through. So that is the reason why I want to share this with you. I have always liked those type of videos even before I found out I was pregnant because I was obviously trying to get pregnant for a long time. So I was so into those videos of like how to conceive and just symptoms of that you're ovulating and like 2-week wait and all of that, you know. But I'll go ahead and put a card here so you could watch the video of when I found out I was pregnant. And yeah, so I guess I'll just start by picking up where I left off in my other video of when I found out I was pregnant. I found out very early on, and I do have a lot of notes here that I took from when I found out because I just wanted to document everything. Then later throughout my pregnancy, I stopped documenting much, but just early on. Like I said, I found out on May 9th. So let me tell you a little bit about the symptoms I had during those days. And my last period, I don't want to say like the disclaimer, you know, like there's gonna be a lot of like TMIs, I guess, but you should know since you clicked on this video, we're all grown-ups, hopefully. We're gonna talk about pregnancy and symptoms, body stuff, so be prepared. Blood, discharge, mucus, moist, I don't know. But we're going to be talking about a lot of those things, so if you don't feel comfortable, go ahead and you don't have to watch, but this is for to help somebody else that's looking for reassurance and just wants to know a little bit about what I went through and what they might be going through as well. So I'll talk about my last period. It was March 24th through about March 30th, 2019. So that was my last period. My period has always been irregular, except for when I was on the pill for a short period, but I had not been, prior to getting pregnant, I was not on the pill since I was trying to get pregnant. And so yeah, my last period was March 24th through March 30th. And then I did not get my period in April, and it was already May 4th, so I was already due for my period, but it was kind of normal for me to not get it on time. I didn't expect anything because for a while we weren't being careful at all because obviously we wanted to get pregnant, but at this time we were just going with the flow. We weren't stressing about am I ovulating or testing every day for the ovulation day, or I had just already decided let's just not worry about it and see what happens. So we actually decided to go on vacation and we went to Vegas. And oh my god, I'm going out of track here, but let me just say, and well, there's a vlog for Vegas too if you want to go ahead and see that as well. I'm behind here a lot, but I'll just get back to May 4th. Okay, May 4th, 2019. I had not gotten my period and I wasn't worried at all. I didn't think, I never even thought about, oh, what if I'm pregnant, But I was feeling, now looking back, I was feeling super tired. I was sleeping all day. I was just home, so I would just be laying on the couch, just watching Netflix, but it never occurred to me, hey, you might be pregnant or you might be in those early stages. But yeah, so I was very tired, and then May 8th I started to feel cramping, and I remember talking to my cousin Emmy, sharing with her, like, I think I'm gonna get my period soon because I'm feeling cramps. You start to feel like those back pain, like those are the symptoms I usually I start to feel some cramping and some back pain. But that day on May 8th, I remember I had cramps, and so I just thought, I'm gonna get my period, But then May 9th, I still had not gotten my period and I was still feeling cramps. So May 9th, I was still having that. Sorry, my baby's asleep right now, so it's getting kind of dark, so I'm sorry about the lighting and everything, but okay, let's get to this. I was still having that back pain and cramping. I'm reading off of my list, and yeah, so I was like, what's going on? I still haven't gotten my period. So you know what, it just occurred to me to go ahead and take a test out of nowhere. I was laying on the couch, literally it was about noon, and I was watching TV, and then it just occurred to me, oh, go ahead and take a test, take a pregnancy test. And I never ever expected it to be positive, but it was, and it was the faintest line ever, which again, you could go ahead and see the videos from when I first found out I was pregnant. So yeah, so those were some of the earliest symptoms that I felt, and the line was super faint, so it was very, very early in my pregnancy. Yeah, a little bit of back pain. It would just be like if you're gonna get your period. It was the same symptoms: back pain, cramping, and so yeah, I got the faintest line. And then that same day, I remember that I found out I was pregnant. Suddenly at night, I just had to pee so much. And of course, I was trying to drink more water as well, but I had to pee so much, like repeatedly. It was annoying just having to go get up to the restroom, like, hey, I just went to the restroom and now I'm going again. And I read that it has to do a lot with the pregnancy hormone, the HCG levels that you have. Since they're increasing, that I guess that causes you to have to go to pee more. But yeah, So that was my first positive pregnancy test, and it was very, very, very faint. May 10th, I had a headache and I started to feel cravings, which I always have cravings, but I wrote that down. I couldn't sleep, I was a little constipated, and I felt hot in the face. And like, you feel hot like if you have a fever. And I still had cramping, and I was bloated, and my breast, oh my goodness, my breast started to feel very tender, like they started to hurt. And yeah, a little bit. Let me see. May 11th, cramps, tender breast, backache, thirsty, hungry, hot flashes, and then I had a positive pregnancy test as well. If you go back to, I think this I included in the video where I told my husband I was pregnant, or how I told my husband I was pregnant. That's where I actually shared with you like my pregnancy test line progression, because I was testing every single day repeatedly, and I used the some pregnancy tests, like the little strips that you get from Amazon that are very inexpensive, and those actually work really, really well. So yeah, I use those every day, sometimes multiple times a day, because early on it's very important that you start to see that line darken every single day. So that's what I was looking into. I didn't tell anybody that I was pregnant, except for my husband that same day, but I just wanted to make sure that that line kept getting darker, because that would mean that my pregnancy level, the HCG level, was going up, which is good. Around this time, I started to get, May 13th, I started to get stronger cramps. I remember that it was really scary, because I even felt like I would like hold my breath, you know, it was like a stabbing pain. So of course I go to Dr. Google, and it started to freak me out, because it said that it might be like an ectopic pregnancy. So of course that was in the back of my mind, and it was scaring me because I kept feeling that stabbing pain. I still had my back pain. I felt hot still, tender breast. My nipples were also hurting, and I was feeling emotional. And then May 14th, I made an appointment to go see my doctor, just my regular doctor, and I had a urine test done. Yeah, they confirmed my pregnancy. I was officially pregnant, and which I knew they were gonna get a positive, because I had been peeing on little strips and sticks every single day. I thought they were gonna do a blood test, but they didn't. So yeah, they just gave me like a paper that said, yes, you're pregnant, go ahead and call this number to go ahead and schedule like your next appointments, like with the OBGYN, you know. So they did that, and then I talked to them about that pain that I was feeling, which I was concerned about, and they actually freaked me out more, because they told me if like I told them about that, my concern about it being an ectopic pregnancy, and they said, well, we can't do anything here since you're pregnant. We can't like touch you, we can't do anything or check anything with you. You would have to go see like a OBGYN, and then they would have to deal with that. So what they said about the cramping, which I wrote here, they said if the cramping or the pain persists or worsens, or if bleeding occurs, to go to the ER. So that freaked me out even more, of course. So I was just hoping, okay, I hope that the cramping goes away and I don't feel that pain. But I did feel it, And so I was scared. I didn't want it, like, of course I didn't want it to be an ectopic pregnancy, and I was scared of that. So yeah, that's what they advised me. If the pain gets worse, or if it persists, and if you have bleeding, go ahead and go to the ER. And so we were just hoping that my pain would go away and that it was just normal, you know. So let's see, May 15th, I got another positive test, and I was happy because the line was darkening on the test, so that was good. I was still feeling mild cramps, not that stabbing side pain that I had felt earlier, but I would still feel cramps. And then May 16th, positive test, getting darker. May 17th, positive test. Cramping again. I got that side pain again, that side stabbing cramp. And so my husband and I decided to go ahead and go to the ER. I did not feel like going because you know how it's just always scary here to go to the ER because there's so many sick people, of course, and then it takes forever, and I didn't know, like, I didn't want to risk getting sick too. So yeah, we decided to go to the ER. It was at night around 8 p.m. They decided to go ahead and take out my blood to check to do kind of like a pregnancy test, but with my blood now. And they told me that my HCG level was at 1,290, and they actually gave me a vaginal ultrasound, which was pretty painful, to tell you the truth. Like, I don't want to scare you, but be prepared. She was just getting in there, and it was a doctor. You would think that girls would be more gentle on you, but no. So yeah, she really tried to get in there. So this was my first time ever going to the ER, and they took out my blood, they put an IV, they were giving me fluids, and so yeah, they told me that my HCG level was 1,290, and then they decided, okay, we're gonna go ahead and give you a vaginal ultrasound. So they wheeled me by myself to like an ultrasound room, and the doctor was there. She said, I'm not gonna talk to you, I'm just gonna go ahead and do the ultrasound. And it was a vaginal ultrasound. If I didn't say this before, I was not ready for that, but it's expected since it was very early on in my pregnancy. So she went ahead and put lube on the on the probe or whatever it is, I don't know, and it was pretty painful, to tell you the truth. She was really like digging in there, trying to, I guess, find the embryo. So she said, I'm not going to tell you anything about what I see or anything. I'll just go ahead and like take the ultrasound pictures or whatever it is, and then the doctor will review it, and he will talk to you. So then that's what she said. So I was just there enduring all of that, and after that they wheeled me back to the room. And so I was just scared because I was thinking in my head, you know, it looks like she didn't see anything. I don't know, like she was just giving me poker face, so I really had no idea. And then after that I talked to the doctor. And he said, it looks like you were a little bit dehydrated, so that might be a reason why you were experiencing cramping, but also we definitely detect some HCG hormone levels in your blood, which are at 1,290, but that number's not too high, and in the ultrasound we didn't see anything. So pretty much there was nothing in my uterus. He said, either you are pregnant but it's very early on, or maybe you're starting to have like a miscarriage, and so all you have to do now is just wait for those levels to go up, or wait to see if you're actually miscarrying and you're gonna have a miscarriage. So of course that's not what I wanted to hear, and we didn't know what was happening. But the good thing was that it wasn't an ectopic pregnancy, because there wasn't anything there visible. He then told me to go ahead and go for the next days, or in the next 2 days, to go ahead and get my blood taken out. And what they wanted to see is my HCG levels were at least double. That would be a good sign, you know, that I am pregnant. So yeah, May 19th, I was having a lot of the same symptoms. And then I kept taking a test every day just to make sure the line was getting darker, because that meant the levels were going up. And then, so May 19th, my pregnancy test was positive still, and it was as dark as the control line, which was a good thing, you know. So then May 20th, I was gonna take another pregnancy test, and so I peed into a cup, and then when I went ahead and wiped, I noticed there was blood on the toilet paper, and it was bright red blood. Of course, that just like my heart stopped. It was the worst feeling, and I just remember thinking, like, this is it, it's over, like, that's it, I'm miscarrying, you know. So of course I start to cry, and here I have notes about it was pink red in color, liquidy, not thick or with clots. So then here I wiped again, and there was no more blood. So it was only like that initial wipe that I saw blood on the toilet paper. And then later again, I peed again, and there was only very little light pink spotting. Later in the day, I saw that there was like dried up blood on the toilet paper. I had to go see baby, so I remember where I was. Okay, so it ended up drying out by the end of the day, but of course, so that started to make me feel better. So initially when I saw that there was blood on the toilet paper, I thought that was it, that, you know, I was having a miscarriage. But the good thing is that I didn't keep bleeding, because of course after that I went to Dr. Google again, and I started looking things up, and it said that it could be normal, it could be like implantation bleeding, or as long as there's not a lot of blood, like you're actually filling up a pad, then you could actually be okay. But of course I was still scared. But once throughout the day, when I noticed that there wasn't any more blood coming, like it had dried up, then I felt a little bit better. So then after that, on the same day, I guess I went to Kaiser for another blood test to check my HCG levels. Received the results at about 2:45 p.m. and I checked like through the app, and it said, so my levels were now at 3,457, which had gone up since the previous time they were at 1,290. So that was very good news. So that made me feel a lot better. So around this time, I was super sick. I think, yeah, this was, I got super sick. I remember this week, I have it on my other calendar or planner, May 19th through like May 29th, like the whole like 3 weeks or so I was super sick. I think that I had like strep throat, I think, but I was super sick. And it was actually I remember that week, May 22nd. So yeah, I was also very sick and dealing with all of these things. Like I could barely talk. After getting my blood drawn, I would talk with the doctor that I saw. I don't know if it was the one I saw from the ER. It's just another doctor gets assigned to those cases. But I could barely talk on the phone because I would be coughing like crazy and I had a lot of phlegm. My throat would hurt so bad. Like it was if I had like razor blades on my throat, and I couldn't take any medicine because of course I was pregnant. So sorry, I'm watching my baby here on the monitor, but I think you can hear that. But sure. But yeah, so yeah, it was really rough. I didn't have a fever, but I remember it was the sickest I have ever been. Then May 21st, I talked to the doctor, and another thing to point out as well that I thought about was that I questioned whether maybe the vaginal ultrasound that I had is what caused some of the bleeding. I feel like maybe there was some like I feel like maybe that could have caused it, but I mentioned it to the doctor and she said that it was maybe like highly unlikely. But I mean, I know that when you're pregnant, like everything's more sensitive and you have a lot more blood, like your blood level is higher and all that. So that's just a thought that I had, you know. So May 21st, I had light pink spotting, but I didn't feel as bad because I knew as long as it's not a whole lot of blood, then it might still be normal. Then May 22nd, I had a blood test in the morning again, and I kept taking pregnancy tests this whole time. And I have here that the line was darker now than the control line, so that was good. So now that the doctor saw that my levels kept going up, she now wanted to go ahead and see me to confirm it through, you know, the ultrasound. And this day, May 22nd, I remember that it was my cousin's wedding rehearsal. Well, I don't remember it, but I don't remember that it was that day, but I know just looking here at my calendar that I went to her rehearsal and I was so sick. I couldn't even talk. I went all covered up, you know. But yeah. So then May 23rd, I had more spotting and I was still sick. I was coughing and I had phlegm and I had like I was blowing my nose a lot, so mucus everywhere. Like it was bad. So my HCG levels went from 1,290 to 3,457 to then 5,587. And I was kind of at this point super obsessed with all these levels and numbers and like doubling, and like I was obsessed with those levels. But it could be different for everybody, so it shouldn't, if you're looking at those levels, it shouldn't stress you out unless or you shouldn't worry unless they're dropping, then it could be fine. So May 29th was the day that we saw a heartbeat for the very first time, and I was measuring. Okay, I hope the angle is okay because I had to change the battery. This is turning into a story time. But yeah, May 29th was the first time that we saw the heartbeat, and my baby was measuring at 6 weeks and 2 days, and my approximate due date was January 20th. 2020. After that, of course, we were over the moon happy, and because it was confirmed I was pregnant for sure. My baby was there. My baby had his heartbeat. Well, I didn't know if it was a boy or girl yet, but there was a heartbeat, and I was just so happy, and it was wonderful, you know. So that was that appointment with that doctor, and which was the one they assigned me. That day, May 29th, that doctor was to follow up from my ER visit. Then we got our first official prenatal appointment on May 31st. The doctor did another vaginal ultrasound, and when she took out like the little ultrasound thing, she noticed that there was bleeding on the thing. Not really red, but like there was blood. And so she said pretty much that it may be too early, that a sac is visible, but it's kind of hard to see. She said that it looks like there might be a heartbeat, but it's kind of hard to measure it yet. And for me, I was like, what do you mean? Like, my husband and I, we were like, what? What do you mean that there might be a heartbeat, but you're not sure? Because we had already seen the heartbeat in the previous appointment with the other doctor. I don't know if they just we didn't know if it was just maybe their machines, like one of them is better than the other, and that's why one of them they're able to see it better. But we were thinking we're gonna be just reassured, you know, oh yeah, everything's looking good. But then instead she tells us, well, it looks like, yeah, there might be a heartbeat, but I don't want to say there is because it's not, like, I'm not able to measure it yet, so I'm not sure, like, but it could still be too early to tell. So yeah, she wanted me to return again in a few days, because let's see, May 31st, it was a Friday, so she wanted to see me back on Monday just to make sure. So since she knew that I had like been experiencing bleeding, she then wanted me to go ahead and also get the Rogam, which is a shot you need if you're RH negative, because I was A negative, so I need to get that shot. That might have been the reason why I had the bleeding. So they do that early on in your pregnancy, and then also you get another shot at 28 weeks. That appointment was really hard because we were super happy the other appointment, and then this one we just thought it was gonna be better news, you know, and then now we end up bleeding at the same. We ended up leaving like thinking like, okay, well, we don't know what's going on, like we're kind of like up in the air, you know. And then I feel like I still have more to say about that appointment. I think I'm gonna go ahead and leave off here, and I'll just go ahead and continue the story in the next video, because I need to get to my baby right now. Mom life. So yeah, guys, I hope you're enjoying my pregnancy story so far, and thank you guys if you have stayed this long, if you're still watching, and if this is the first video you're watching, I hope you're enjoying it, and I hope you subscribe, and if you're already subscribed, thank you so much, guys. I'll see you guys in the next video, okay? Bye, guys.